I don't even know what's happening.
Who did the first screen? Who was that? That was like, who was that? Like, who was that?
Was not me.
I can't see who's doing that.
That's definitely not me.
That's like when your voice is too deep to scream and you're trying to scream. Like, hey, do you guys want to see something funny?
Called out. Yes. What is that?
Do you see this?
Is that Powerade?
The blood
Nope.
straight. That is definitely
that's Kool-Aid. That's Kool-Aid. That's
No,
Kool-Aid.
That's blood orange fuel.
Oh,
close enough.
That's a great container.
In this gigantic thing. No, I put 2 scoops in here and then filled it with water, so it's not gonna kill me. Like I'm having I'm having 2 scoops, but I didn't put like 4 scoops in here for the amount of water, so it doesn't taste.
Has anyone seen Fox's image on the stream?
That's awesome.
I just noticed that. I was like, oh hey,
dude, I'm still
Like,
I'm still putting
sleeping.
my things. I'm still putting my things together. Like my setup is so not done right now. I came in my room and just threw my laptop down.
Anybody that's
literally
in the
just got home.
is gonna complain that I'm eating. I'm hungry.
Oh, dear.
I don't know what to do about it.
I'm hungry.
Sorry.
What you do?
Forgive me. I get hungry right around showtime every week. And I gotta fuel myself up for basketball.
It's important.
So I can show Landon how it's done.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to move my things right now. Okay, there we go. Oh wait, that's the wrong screen.
Goalie's working on it.
Oh no,
you're on now. You're on.
You look
He
good.
put you on. All right, Landon. I think you're doing the intro or whatever. So.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. All right, so in today's episode of the STiKS Live, I gotta make this super intense. We have Fox and Tommy on the show once again, making the return. Tommy, would you like to introduce yourself? Even though everyone already knows who you are, but feel free.
Everyone doesn't know who I am.
All right, next person,
Hey,
Fox.
Hi, I'm Fox. I'm an esports commentator, and I'm very sleep deprived and excited to be here at the same time. There's also riots going on, which is pretty cool. I'm in Maryland, for those of you guys that don't know. And I just had a bunch of crazy train rides, but train rides through all of it. And just now making it home safely, which is cool. It was kind of the only thing that was really bugging me is people wouldn't shut up about it. That's all. You can only hear them the same regurgitated, like, "Oh, that's crazy," over and over again. Like, but it's all right. I'm here. Canada was great. I had a fun weekend. Sorry, my intro's too long.
No, you're fine. We're definitely gonna be talking about UGC Niagara.
People really like my shirt.
I told you it looks nice on you.
Wait, do I get to introduce myself?
Well, we were going to Tommy, and then Tommy
go
said
ahead. Sorry.
I got cut off. I don't need a long intro. I'm just a ginger that apparently is the EU scum. That's all you need to know about me, apparently.
Okay.
EU scum.
There you go. And Mr. Kingdom Soldier.
Does Tommy's girlfriend need to introduce herself?
Yeah, we need to see Tommy. We need to see Tommy's girlfriend come on. She sat in the corner. She sat in the corner for like 2 hours last time.
She's over there laying on the bed on her laptop. Okay, anyway.
Say hi.
That sounded really creepy.
What? Oh, whatever, dude.
All right, so I'm gonna go and do the question of the show.
What about me?
Oh my God, Kingdom, go!
This is
so
All right, my name is Kingdom Soldier, and I am wearing a nice sweater according to most of you, so thank you very much. My wife has started to buy my clothes, so she's going to change my look, and this sweater, it resembles a sweater that she got me that's actually really dope as well, but has buttons up here instead of this brown stuff. And you can use my code KINGDOM for 10% off of your G Fuel. This is blood orange in this gigantic container that I'm drinking. It's really good. I like the new flavor. So if you want to get 10% off of the new flavor, go ahead and use the code KINGDOM. Don't forget to use code STiKS for 5% off your Scuff gaming products. Now I'm going to go play basketball after this because I'm getting ready for Hector Rodriguez in UMG Cali in 17 days.
Bro, you act like I'm not going to be in Cali to beat you.
1v1 me, Hex. 1v1 me. Okay, go ahead.
You know he's going to watch this too. He's going to be responding to you.
I know. Yep.
But be serious. But what is up, guys? My name is Landon. That's all I'm going to say because I want to get to this question, which is awesome. Okay, this is like my favorite question we've ever had. Goalie actually helped me with it, so shout out to Goalie. No one knows who that is, but you guys maybe know who he is, maybe. But the question for today is if you could travel to any planet, obviously in space, what planet would it be? What would you do while you're on that planet, and why? All right. Hopefully, you guys have seen the question. I'm gonna go first to Kingdom, then to Tommy, then to Fox, and then I will close it with myself.
I guess this is what happens when I let Landon host the show. I end up having to go first. What planet would I travel to, and what would I do on that planet? I would travel to... I have no idea. Mars, Jupiter. I would travel to Mars because they say that it's the only planet that potentially could inhabit people, where we could live. And I would start my own planet, I guess.
You start your own planet while you're on a planet already.
I would go to Mars. Wow, that picture is T1. I would go to Mars and I would start my own planet on that planet, and I would call it Earth 2. Earth Squared.
Earth Squared.
And the guy from ESPN that was talking about esports, he wouldn't be allowed to come.
Oh,
the only person.
Yeah. And I would start an MLG COD League, and I would invite all of the AMs only. So
I don't know if that answer could have gotten you better, to be honest with you. Tommy?
Okay. Oh, I'm knocking things. If I was to go to a planet, I would go to Mars. No real reason why. I just like Mars.
There you go.
What would I do?
Getting real deep into this conversation.
I tell you what I would do though. I'd go to Mars.
Mars is cool.
Mars is cool. All them stars, bro.
Snap.
Stars.
Bro, is that your American accent?
Don't even go there. My accents are horrific, man.
It's fine.
Okay, so I'd go to Mars. What I would do, I would make sure all Americans speak the proper way. We ain't no soccer, we're football.
Wow.
Get it right.
This is becoming a dictatorship rather than like
what we should do on the planet. Now, but I don't care.
Shots fired.
I'm sorry, it's got to be done.
Man.
It's just not right.
It's crazy.
Okay. I understand.
Oh man. All right, Fox. Hopefully nothing too rude. No, I'm just kidding. You're fine.
Well, I'd like to go to Jupiter, just because it's the biggest planet and it has all those crazy storms on it, and I would like to see what they look like. And we're assuming that we can survive, so I would like to see what they feel like and stuff, like what it is, like all the things they're made of.
All right. Well, I'm surprised no one actually chose this one, and I think that there's no real reason to explain why. But I'm going to go to Uranus, and that's really about it. So
wow.
Okay.
That's about it.
Wow.
He's gone for the cheap stunt. You made this question, and you've gone with the cheap stunt.
I didn't make the question. Goalie made the question.
I don't know if I approve.
Okay. Does Goalie have an answer?
At least mine wasn't like, I'm going to go to Uranus and then make everyone's voices change. Like, that wasn't like... like I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just traveling to a planet.
Okay.
Oh my god. Wow.
Yo, Kingdom, I gotta ask you, man, what is that extremely microphone friendly meal you got there?
Why is it very like you guys hear me crunching?
Are you eating there's nachos, man? Like are you chewing bubble wrap?
Can you guys read that?
There it is. Crab dip. Oh, dude, I'm a Marylander. That's all it is over here. Just straight seafood. Like crabs all the time. Yes. Yes, I approve. Nice.
Round of applause.
I have water.
This smoky bacon crab dip is T1. I'm just going to say that.
That's probably some... I don't know.
All right. MLG Roster Mania.
Hi. That's me.
Come back from Uranus and what's next?
Okay. So our next topic, besides deciding where people are going to go on planets, is the revenge split, which actually happened today in a way. It was kind of known.
Trying to get a call. Okay. I'm talking to him. But
oh, really?
Go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah, he's trying to.
I'm just gonna kind of lay it out how it happened. The reason why I knew that this was going to happen was purely by pros leaking information. Apathy on stream had said countless times, and on actually his stream title had said new prof for the 2K, new prof for the 5K, and it was always Aqua instead of Mochilla. Obviously, pros always leak information before it happens. That's how I kind of knew about it, like as a person, like looking at it from the outside. I had no idea this kind of thing was going to happen. As much as I love TR, I understand why it's happening, but it just doesn't make sense to me in a way. And I'm sure if we can get Pittsburgh in here, and I know he has, maybe a little bit to say about it. He's not okay. That's fine. But
go ahead, though.
I think I hate how the league has to split up teams, but we're at the point where only you can't be a successful Call of Duty player or a known Call of Duty player that makes money if you're not in the league, which I think is a huge problem. I would have liked to see the Team Revenge team stick together, and it sucks to me it sucks for me, I guess you could say, because we're already halfway through the season. Like, he only has half a season to play, and then playoffs, which is coming up for X Games. So that's always going to happen.
Fox has kids. Hashtag Intel.
Oh, he has glasses.
Like
He's so
Fox.
cute.
That's like little Fox.
So cute.
That's like little Fox.
Oh wow. Okay. I was about to say.
Oh, okay. There we go. I was
it
like,
is literally.
He probably hasn't even spent time with his family.
I muted my mic. I was just gonna do him. I mean, you guys want to say hi?
Is he mini me?
No, it's my little brother.
Oh, how old is he?
Say hi.
Stream, say hi.
They haven't seen me since I left for Canada. So
1980.
got home.
I'm the only person in the stream that was alive.
From the soccer game in school.
You what?
I got home from the soccer game in school.
You went to the soccer game after school?
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
Who won the game?
Picked me up when I was drinking water. When I picked me up when she got it in my classroom when my friend was drinking water.
Hey, I'm doing something right now. Can I talk to you in like a few minutes? Is that all right?
Yes.
All right, I see it a little bit more.
I feel so bad.
You just completely rejected me. Like, can you just go away?
Hey, I'm doing something. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Talk to the hand. Because the glasses don't want to hear
it. He literally put two fingers up to his mouth and was like, hey, I'm doing something. Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect. I think we actually gained a subscriber, Python, subscribing for 4 months in a row.
Python, resub. Woo, hitches in the chat. Hitches in the chat. All right, go ahead. What were you saying, Landon? I wasn't really listening.
No, but before Fox Jr. came out, which I liked a lot, but
I love it. I'm loving him to death. I miss him so much, but this is here right now, so.
I understand it, man. But just going back to it, I love the Team Revenge team. They obviously placed top 2 at champs. They finished second, which was amazing for them. A pickup team, not a pickup team, but a team that no one really knew about, playing well. And I feel like we're seeing a lot of these good teams that no one knows about get split up. I know me and Kingdom were talking about it in the pre-call, mentioning stuff and whatnot. But honestly, it really sucks to see Team Revenge have to split up due to the league in certain ways. I guess I'm going to ask you guys' opinion. Do you guys think that this was a needed split, or do you guys think that this was needed, or do you think they should have waited? And by the way, they are going to play at ESWC together. That will be their last event as a team. So whoever wants to start, it's open to anyone. This is just talking about the Team Revenge split.
I think it's unfortunate that since there's no room in the league, that a great team like this can't make it in. I would have liked to see them stick together. And my little dreamland in my mind, if I were one of them, I'd start grinding out YouTube content and really just diving right into the COD scene and trying to brand myself as a member of Team Revenge. They got a squad of 4 players that is obviously able to compete. They're under a great organization. Sure, it's not Optic or Envious, but people know Pittsburgh to be a pretty great team manager and just a great guy in general. So it would have been nice to see them just sort of stick it out right there. Like, you can, they're not in the league right now, but those 4 together, they could do whatever they want. They could just grind tournaments all the time, start streaming, get stream revenue, something like that. But that's just in my mindset. I'm sure they want to compete in the league, and that's their top priority.
If you're not in this league, and you are a professional Call of Duty player, it is an uphill battle. You're small and you're battling against really large teams you're basically last on the totem pole. If they started doing content, they would be at the bottom. They'd be below the 8 players that are on Optic right now. They'd be below Nade Shot, who's like a 9th Optic player, who, even though he's not on Optic, he still streams and gets over 10,000 viewers. And they would be behind Envy. They would be behind Denial with Clayster streams. They're literally, it really sucks because you're putting yourself at such a disadvantage and you'd have no chance of going to the X Games. And so it's almost like we've set it up so that teams that don't make it into the league, they're going to make it into the league anyway if they're good enough of a player to get picked up by a team. It's just, it really sucks for those orgs because when they miss that opportunity to make it into the league, if they have great players, it's almost like a guaranteed loss. I thought for a brief second that TR was going to be one of those teams that somehow avoided that. Somehow they were going to get these players to stay together. I mean, they put out a really good montage that I liked from Champs, and it just really sucks for Pitt, for the organization, because he's put in the same position as we've seen Big Snacks be put in multiple times, the same position as we've seen HB3 Gen, or however you say his name, from Carnage was put in, same position that the Noble guys have been put in. I mean, it's just it's the world we live in right now with the way that the league is designed and the way that things work out, is that, you know, these players don't have a choice. And when Prophecy or whoever calls you and says, hey, we will give you a salary to come play for us, it's like, as a person who's trying to do this for a living, what are you going to say? You know, like, who's going to say no to that? That's what I'm saying. Like, who's going to say, you know what, I'm going to stay with Pittsburgh, or I'm going to stay with Jay from SB. You know, like, the unfortunate thing is that although these managers may be good, they can't offer what these league teams can offer, you know. And the biggest part is, oh, look, Automatic Reload picked up Moch in place of Happy. That was just announced by AR. So it's now Burns, Anticity, Spacely, and Mochilla. Mochilla Steve AR is his new Twitter handle. I mean, and this is exactly what's going to happen. Peace out, Happy. You know, I mean, it's like, it's really unfortunate. We're going to see this happen because the rest of the TR players are going to find themselves a place. But what about the TR player that doesn't get picked up by a league team? So he now has no team. He's going to end up by himself, whoever that is. You know, I don't know which player might be stuck out by themselves. But it's really unfortunate. So that's just my 2 cents, is that we're going to have to start figuring out how to solidify this league to where there's not so many changes throughout the year. Because when you have 3 seasons, you're going to have teams that fall off, don't make it. Imagine if Optic Nation didn't make it. We'd have more people being pushed out because they'd be picking up the players from Optic Nation. So,
yeah. What do you think? What do you think can be done? Like, why do you think this doesn't happen as often? Or I don't know if it doesn't happen as often, but why do you think this is such a problem for us and not for a scene like CS:GO or League, or LCS, obviously?
CS:GO and League, I don't really know how they work. I do know that CS:GO, like, one of the things Goalie was telling me is that teams are in like 20 different leagues, you know. So instead of right now, you have like, we have one league going on, and the AM League didn't work. The little UMG or whatever, that didn't work. And so we have one league going on, and if you're either in that or you're not, and you just grind GBs, you can't play this game. You can't play any sport. It's like if they told the Lakers players, oh, you didn't make the league this year, you know, so you can just grind out at the local park. You can go to Rutgers and try to hustle people for money while you wait to play in the NBA next year. You know, you couldn't do that to that team. And that team couldn't afford to pay the salaries of their players if they weren't in the NBA and being televised by ESPN, TNT, and all these other stations. They would have no revenue. And so the playoffs are different. Like, and I understand the playoffs for like professional sports, you're in or you're out. And yeah, you're going to miss a lot of revenue by not making the playoffs. The players that are on playoff teams, they get bonuses the farther they go in the playoffs. Once they make it to the finals, they get bonuses. They get paid more money for taking their organizations that far, because the organizations make a lot more money because of views. We could do something like that maybe with MLG, where we could incentivize people for making it into the playoffs of these events, or making it to champs or something like that. But the way it works right now, it's like you are stuck out of luck if you don't make it into this league. And I don't know personally, and I will try to get Pittsburgh on a 1v1 or something like that. We're talking in DMs, but I don't know personally how, as an owner, when something like this happens, how you stay positive. Like the SB guys have consistently stayed in this community even after they've had team after team leave them and player after player go behind their back and bounce out or sketch. And I don't know how, as an owner, you keep pushing forward and keep your brand alive. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's gotta be really rough.
If I can interject, like I kind of feel as if like there needs to be more of a bridge between amateur and pro. Like you Pro League tried to do it, but yeah, because at the moment, like you're either in the pro league or you're not. It's like there's like such a massive like differentiation between the two. I feel like there needs to be more structuring to make it so that if you're not in the pro league, you're only, you know, a little step down. You're not a massive step down. Because at the moment, if you're not in the pro league, you're technically really struggling to make a living in this community. And until that happens, I feel like, you know, players and organizations are just going to continue to be screwed over, whether we like it or not. I think just more structuring needs to come in place. Because, I mean, TR did try and get a league spot, but obviously that failed. And now, obviously, like, what the majority of the time happens, a better offer comes along and people accept it. So I just feel like if better structuring comes along, then teams and organizations won't necessarily always get screwed over.
It just sucks to me because of how close TR were to getting in Season 2. Like, they were in Game 5, it was like round 10 or something, and they lost to Optic Nation. Optic Nation's last in the league. TR's team has to disperse because now they're not in the league. It just really sucks. I don't know. I don't know.
And where would TR be if they were in this league? What place would they be in compared to where Optic Nation is?
Oh, they would be.
And
they're definitely going to be above them. That's sure.
What bothers me. It's like
100%.
Optic is able to have 2 teams in this league, and TR can't even. TR, they just play. How well at COD champs, they can't get in here, you know. So their team has. That's what I'm saying. Like second, like come on,
it's not like they're
not able to be in the league. But Optic Nation, I think I love the dudes on Optic Nation, of the Optic organization. I wouldn't want to take anything away from them, but just in this situation, like they're able to have 2 teams of their own in the league right now, and TR can't get their one in. That definitely deserves to be in.
I agree.
I mean, some dude just put in the chat, I mean, do we expand the league to 16 teams? It always keeps coming around. Like, I don't know what you guys think, but obviously if we expand the league, then we're just
I don't know the ramifications of it.
Matches.
We're not solving the right problems. Like the thing that we have to do, I mean, I know we're going to talk about ESPN later, but the thing that we have to consider is that as we grow, we have to have a firm foundation. And I think that's what MLG is attempting to do with this league in general. And every rule they put out, people fight it, and then they end up normally liking it or thinking that it was a good idea. The challenge is we're fixing, like we're putting Band-Aids on things, and we're not trying to find an actual solution to a bigger problem of organizations coming in and out of competitive Call of Duty, like just in and out. You see an org pop up, you hear about them, whether it's an Orbit or a Noble or a Carnage or a Curse. You know, you hear these orgs come up, they pop in, but then if they can't hold on to their players, they pop out. And they're not financially stable as an Envy, a Denial, an Optic, to where they can afford to not be in the league. And even though we haven't seen that with Optic, but they can afford to not be in the league or a phase, and then they can come right back in because they can afford it. Now, I applaud, like I said, I applaud the Twins. I applaud the SB guys. I applaud Big Snacks for sitting on the sidelines, putting money aside to make sure that when the time is right, he can grab a couple players and get himself back in the league or back in competition. Even though, because he's a smaller org, his players are going to be snatched by these larger organizations. And Big Snacks is like in a position where he just has to wait, like, okay, who's available, who's left, and that just really, I think we've landed in an unfortunate place where if you look at larger sports, and I'm not saying we can even go this direction, but people have contracts for years, and once they have those year-long contracts, yes, there comes times when they can opt out, where they can be bought out and things like that, but buyouts are very rare in our sport. Not every team has them, and so I think there's a big picture that we're missing out on, and we don't have a firm foundation right now. So That's just why I think we can argue this back and forth, and the league needs to expand to 16 teams, but I wouldn't do that unless we are doing it for a reason, and not just because we want more teams in, because the same problem is going to be the same problem. We're going to have orgs that come and go because the larger teams take their players consistently, and I'm not throwing shots at the larger teams. It's a business, and if you can, why not?
What do you think should be done about that? Just how people can just take players. What do you think should be done? Aside from, I guess, organizations contracting their players, what do you think should be done about that?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, like, I think because we have 3 seasons, the game changes every year. You're going to see players rise and fall on a year-by-year basis. You're going to see the best player from last year may not be the best player the next year. Now, the top players are always going to be the top players, but what you have is a whole bunch of orgs watching about 10 players that anybody would pick up at if they even gave a hint that they were going to be available. And then every other player is like the scraps. They're leftovers. And they just have to hope that somebody goes after him, like a Merc. He becomes available, and it's like, well, I don't know if a team's going to try to get me. And then Justice comes along, and Merc wants to keep playing, so he says yes. I'm sure Rambo was hit up when he got put to the side by Envy, but he decided, you know what, I'm going to play some golf. I'm going to go work for Sledgehammer, whatever. He made a different decision than Merc did. And so Big Timer, I'm sure he was hit up by organizations. He decided, I'm going to stay living in the Optic house, make a whole bunch of money trading stocks, and I'm going to still be Optic Big Timer. So each team offers a different opportunity, but for some teams, like Happy, he's not happy right now. He's gonna have to wait to see, does anybody want me? I mean, and it sucks. You have to think, like, if somebody, like, if Dwayne Wade got dropped from the Heat and it was like getting dropped, like, you're off our roster. They can't do that. He's under contract. He has to get paid a certain amount of money for a certain amount of time, and if they want him to out of his contract, they have to buy him out. They have to say, here's a lump sum of cash. We don't want you to play for us anymore. And I don't know. I want to advocate for the players, I guess, but I don't know. What do you guys think can be done?
Man, there's a lot. Like, I know a lot of people are trying to compare this, like, have 2 conferences like the NBA does, but that's not going to work. Like, you can't have 2 separate leagues. And I understand, like, the idea coming from behind that, but, like, and having 2 separate leagues, like, that just doesn't work to me. Like, they would have to completely redo everything. I don't think we'll see that happen, especially only with what do we have in the league right now? Like, how many teams do we have in the league? Like 12, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Now,
what if we have to go to 24 teams?
No. What if we kept the teams, but you separated it to where at the end of a season, the 1 and 2 split, and then you had 3 and 4 split, and so if you just separated the teams and you had 6 over here and 6 over here, and you would make sure that, like, if there's 2 phase teams, they're on different leagues. If there's 2 optic teams, they're in different leagues. I mean, I don't know. I
think they play each other still. Like, you can't have 2 separate you can't have 2 separate leagues that never play each other, though.
No. If they went into a playoff, it could work.
Yeah, but they have to play each other, though. Like, you can't have Optic Gaming just not play Optic Nation. Like, they have to eventually.
If
I just don't think we're that big yet.
Well,
Cole Cass said Vonderhart needs to start paying players himself.
Oh, man.
We're not as organized yet. We're getting there. I'll tell you guys this.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're not, as negative as this thing may look, we're moving in the right direction. Like, that's hands down. If we look at today and we look at 2 years ago, we're moving in the right direction. Nobody can say that we're not. It's just that when you move in the right direction with anything, you have to make changes. And when you make changes, it reveals, it's like more money, more problems. It reveals as we grow and we get bigger, it reveals, okay, well, we're missing this, we're missing this, we're missing this element. We don't have a players league still, no players union. There's no uniting of these pro players that have a spokesperson like a Nade Shot or a Big Timer or a Rambo, like somebody who's representing the players like Derek Fisher and all these guys that do this for the NBA. And I just think we're behind a little bit in advocacy for our players and our owners. Right now, MLG kind of stands at the top with Activision, and they're still below Activision. There's decisions that they cannot change. We will not play Drift at COD Champs. They can't say that. They can't say that to Activision. And so I think that we just have to work with what we've been given, And one of the things that I think has to happen, I don't know why it's taking so long, but I think our players have to pull together. These pro players have to pull together and be willing to stand for each other, so that, I would hate to say it, but if MLG makes a rule change and these guys are really, really, really against it, instead of saying, let's just all not use fast hands, they could say, and now this is on the extreme, I know the chat's going to go crazy, but they could say, none of us are going to play our league matches until these rules are discussed. They could technically say that. They could unite together and do something like that. We've seen it in every other sport. It sucks when they do that, when they go on strike, where teachers go on strike, when garbage workers go on strike. It's the worst thing in any city, but it gets the attention of the people at the top, and they make decisions and compromise.
I was talking to Looney about that actually yesterday. I was like, because he was complaining, or no, he wasn't complaining. They were talking about how TK was using a lot of IMRs. On S&D, we seldom go 3 IMRs, 1 bow. Don't know why everybody thinks the IMR is overpowered, because it's not. It's a niche weapon. It performs its role well, just like the Scorpion did in Black Ops 2, for instance. It's just people how to use the weapon. And I was like, I don't think it's overpowered. You kind of showed them that you can beat them even if they're using IMRs. You did it. You beat them in that first series. You beat them 3-0, and then you just lost the second one. And I was like, if you guys really want it banned, just not using it and ignoring it is not the way to do that, because someone's just going to use it. And if you actually want it banned, use it and show people why it's overpowered, if that's what you think. Just like the Tech 9 and CSGO community and CZ before it was nerfed, people just kept using it because that's the metagame. Like, you need a CZ. Just like right now, you need a Tech 9 if you can get a Tech 9. Yeah, we just have too many gentlemen's agreements.
Yeah, and it can't happen. Like, no offense, like, if there are gentlemen agreements going down, you can't just, like, hey, we're not going to use this. Okay, we won't use this either. The next series, okay, well, we're going to use it because this guy's being a jerk and he wants to use it. Use everything that you have, like Fox said, like what pro players are even saying. You have to use this stuff and show how overpowered it is. If you think the, let's just say when the LMG, is overpowered, use it like crazy. Have 4 people running it and dominate everyone for the next couple of weeks in the league, and that'll improve your record and sure you'll be known as the guy that abuses everything, but you're going to use it and show like how it can not work. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but
no,
use what you have to your advantage. I don't know.
Also, I see people talking about the Vector from Ghost. I understand like people use it and never got banned. No one was asking for it to be banned. No one was saying, "Oh, this thing's overpowered. We need to ban it." Nobody was saying that ever. They were just saying you got to use the Vector. Like, it's just a good gun. Just use it. It's good to use it and just put emphasis on the fact that it is overpowered. Make these Reddit threads, make these Game Battles forum threads, tweets, YouTube videos about it, and something's going to happen. Nobody was doing that about the Vector. No one wants to ban primary weapons.
But here's the deal, Fox. Like, and this is where we're putting our players in a position. It's like in the NBA, if they didn't change the 3-point line, or because the hoop used to be lower, the 3-point line used to be closer. And so, like, if they didn't change it, it's like, okay, everybody just shoot threes and prove that it's too close, or everybody dunk so that we can prove that the rim is too low. Like, we're putting too much. I don't think our players should have to do that. That shouldn't be their job to play with something long enough to where people see that it's overpowered. If we had some type of a players organization, I won't say union, some type of a players organization where there was a few players that represented everybody else, and they got to say, all right, from all the teams, this is the feedback we've gotten. We're going to go to MLG, and the owners are going to come together, and we're going to talk about some of the issues we have with the guns, with the blah, blah, blah. And then maybe this conglomerate of these 3 large groups, MLG, owners, and players, can then go to Activision and say, look, we have a real problem with the map that you're putting in to rotation. We understand that you want to show off this map. Can we do maybe some type of one-off game where we maybe do a free-for-all competition or something where we show this map? Is there any other way? I mean, there's solutions that are out there, but if people don't talk, you can't come up with a solution. And I think the problem is you have players making decisions. And I saw a gentleman's agreement where it was a tweet, I think from Parasite, I don't remember who, but said, no, it was Fizzerp. And he said they made a gentleman's agreement with 2 other players and playing in 2v2s or 3v3s or something like that. And then in the last map, the other team used what they had agreed not to use and won. And so it's kind of like you can't depend on, stuff like that. Like, I mean, that's just my opinion. I feel like,
if you have a gentleman's agreement, you know, when a team is really down, you really, you know, find out whether or not they are going to stick to it. Because if they really want to win, they're not going to stick to it, are they? Let's be honest.
No.
You know, exactly. That's the thing.
Fast hands,
I think it's just. I think they just shouldn't like the serious ones. Like, don't use this weapon, and this. Like, there's just so many different things that people just don't use. It's just too much at this point, and clearly it's not working. Gentlemen's agreements do not work, especially with how much stuff they're trying to get rid of. So that's why I'm saying use it. Use it. Keep making YouTube videos about it. Like, all right. So I'm trying. How about this? Before the ASM one, is my microphone all right now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, chat's like talking about. They said saying something.
Yeah, they did the same for me. I don't know what it is.
Okay,
you had a problem for a little bit, Tommy, but it went away.
Okay, what was I saying? So so when the ASM1 was overpowered, right? When we had that buff on it, to where it was pretty much the only gun you should ever use. Or how about the BAL originally, right? Nobody was just like, all right, let's just ban the BAL and use everything else. Everyone just used the BAL, and guess what? It got nerfed. That's just what happens because it was clearly overpowered. The ASM1 was overpowered for a while, and we even saw Clayster using the ASM1 over his BAL on a lot of the maps. And just like, I don't know, man. People aren't making gentlemen's agreements for those weapons, but we're seeing things that just. I feel like people just don't want to die to annoying things. They see like anything outside of sub AR as just that's annoying. Don't use that. I don't want to adjust to it. Go ahead, Kingdom.
You have a question?
I
don't know why. I don't know why I'm disagreeing with Fox, but so much today. I love you, man, and your opinions are great.
Dude, I'm like half dead right now, but go ahead, I'm listening.
So here's the thing. This is what I'm saying. Here's what I'm trying to drive at, Fox. Number one, you're right. Number two, that's not here. It's like here. It's like solving the problem that's here. And I understand what you're doing is we do need to solve the problems that are here with the weapons we're using, with the frustration of the players. But what's up here is the fact that a weapon doesn't get nerfed because esports doesn't like using it. A weapon gets nerfed by Activision because pub players are only using the BAL. So of course it's going to get nerfed. They're not watching Parasite stream or Nadeshot stream and going, oh, pro players are only using the BAL, let's nerf the BAL. They're nerfing the BAL because they're looking at statistics of how many people are using that one weapon, and they're going, why is every single person using the FAMAS, or why is every single person using the Vector, or why is every single person using the BAL? If everybody's using the BAL, we want other weapons to be used. We can't let our game become a one-weapon game. Let's change it. And so we're still a small part of the community, but I agree with what you're saying, is that the pro players need to follow suit. If they don't like something, the gentlemen's agreements just aren't working. And I definitely agree with that part of your argument, is just that it isn't working, and the best thing to do is to use the stuff if they think it's a problem. And hopefully somebody will take notice. And not having what was it? Was Hastro that did Black Ops 2? Right?
Yeah.
That worked on Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
Not having that person is what, we underestimate how much of a difference it made. But getting someone in the door at Treyarch now, like, that can have these conversations. I know Hastro has invested a lot right now of his time into his CSGO team because they're winning everything, and he's going over to Paris and wherever to, check out the Envy Villa. But it's like, I think not having we have to have a person that is on their side of the fence that can say in advance, in the scrims I've seen, what's going on right now is every single person is using this weapon,
But isn't Rambo there?
That's Rambo.
Rambo's Sledgehammer. But he's Sledgehammer. He doesn't work for Activision. He works for Sledgehammer. So Treyarch is a different company. So
we need someone above it.
Either Activision needs to hire a former pro player that permanently works for them, or Treyarch needs to do the same thing they did last time. I mean, we ended up having one of the best games because Hastro, like Rambo, Hastro thought about things from a larger scale. He's not like us where he's just going to be like, or like pro players, ban everything that we don't like. He's going to let things grow. He's going to let things develop. And then towards halfway through Black Ops 2, we had one of the most playable games we've ever had. But yeah, things had to be banned. There's been no out-of-the-box perfect game esports-wise. And so I think banning is okay. It's going to happen. There's going to be things we don't want to use. But how we ban things, I don't think we can leave it in the hands of the pro players. So I agree with you, Fox, on the fact that...
That's what I'm saying. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
No, I just don't think that it should go in the hands of the pro players. I think this should be a huge part of it because clearly they're the best in the game right now. Their knowledge is valuable, But at the same time, if it's something they have to adjust to, they're not going to want to adjust to it. Just like, I mean, they keep saying the IMR is overpowered, but why did we see Envy beat TK 3-0 in the grand finals before they were still using the IMR?
A lot of it's psychology.
You're not at a disadvantage if you don't use an IMR. The other team can just use that as a strategy to beat you, just like you can use a shotgun or you could use an IMR. You know, I don't know. We're not at the point where you not using the IMR puts you at a huge disadvantage because Looney's just going to snipe you. Even he told me that, and that's why I use that as a point. I was like, well, why do you think the IMR is overpowered? If you just told me you were destroying them with the sniper against the IMR, you were shutting them down. You know, it's just stuff like that. We're not at a
I know we got to move on, Landon, but I did want to say Karma_312 in the chat said we need Nadeshot to be hired by Treyarch. I said this a long time ago. People hated me for it when I said Nadeshot should retire and be a standing pillar in our community that can communicate to these large companies because of his following. He has their ear. He is one of the most influential people in this game. Outside of esports, in esports, doesn't really matter. He's one of the most influential Call of Duty players on the planet, and that compare him to all these Woody's gamertag, well, the way he used to be, and all these guys that are pub players now that I don't watch, so I don't know any of their names. But maybe like Ali and Drifter. Like I think Nadeshot is someone who they would listen to. So if he did go be an advocate for esports to these larger companies, it would be in the best interest of everyone. That's just my 2 cents. I mean, I know we got to move on, Landon, but
there was just one. Yeah, that's true. I just wanted to add one more thing, and I actually made a video. I'm not trying to like plug my own video or anything, but I actually made a video a long time ago, like maybe not a long time ago. It was like 4 or 5 months ago, but it was entitled MLG Players Union, and I had this idea, which we're talking about now, and I thought that this would come up in the future where it would get more intense, and it really is. You know, we've been talking about this for you know, a long time, and I think we could talk about this for the entire show if we really wanted to try and improve stuff. But to me, I think this is just an idea. Landon's the idea guy. I know I always have little things I want to add, but I think we should have YouTubers, not necessarily YouTubers, but guys who are really passionate about the game. Like you said, Ali, T. Martin. You know, there's a bunch of guys out there who know so much about the game. They know what's overpowered. Like this dude, you know, knows, like these guys know every single thing about the game. They know how fast, how much damage everything causes. They know everything behind the game. You have pros. Like in this, like I have this idea for a board, kind of like a board. You could call it a union. I don't really like the word union because I think a lot of people will kind of get the wrong idea about that. But you have this board of people who know the game, like Ali, like T. Martin. You have notable pros who aren't like, you know, random people. You have known people, and you have people like Rambo or someone who has played this game, they know about the game, and they know how to improve it as the president. Like, I know this sounds kind of strange. So have this board of people who know about the game, have someone who leads over it and makes the decisions to talk about games with the you know, the person who produces the game. So that'd be Treyarch this time. And I think, honestly, Vaughn would love that. That's why he's doing a pre-beta for this game. He wants to know stuff. So I think, honestly, that would solve it for me. I don't know. I'm not trying to, like, keep going on this topic for a long time, but I honestly think something like that of a board in a way with experienced people from all categories of Call of Duty would be good. So, I don't know.
Why is Hitch just saying, haha, goalie? What did he do? I gotta check Twitter. Okay, go ahead, Landon. You can...
Oh. A very long topic.
Oh my god.
So, goalie's the real MVP.
We could literally talk about
goalie. We need that goalie. We need that goalie emote. So I would love to put it in the chat right now. All right, what's next, Landon?
I think we're gonna head to a commercial break, but we can go into the next topic if needed because we've been on this for a long time.
We can take a break. That's fine.
All right, so guys, we're gonna head to a quick commercial break. When we return, UGC Niagara recap with the man who casted the entire thing, Mr. Fox the Dons. We'll see you guys on the other side of 60 seconds. Boom. Boom. Okay. Sorry, busy.
That was so off.
Oh, we were trying to replicate Fox's thing to his little brother. We were trying to like, I'm doing something right now.
I'm too sorry. Get out.
So our next topic, I know that was kind of a long one, but our next one is going to be UGC Niagara. We're waiting until Fox comes back. He actually casted the entire thing and did a very good job, along with the only capital J. I saw him in the chat earlier. Did very good job. We're going to kind of go over the placings, and we're also going to talk about our MVPs of the tournament and, just give a grade, I guess you could say, of it as a whole. So coming in first was none other than Team... I knew someone was going to say that. It was Team Caliber. And second was Envy. Coming in third was Threes Up. Fourth came Boreal, or Boreal. I think that's how you pronounce it. And in fifth was Below Zero. Honestly, did these placings surprise you guys at all? I think everyone predicted TK except for me in the show. But if you guys did watch the event, did that actually surprise you at all?
No.
What am I drinking? I'm drinking Blood Orange G Fuel Rage. Sorry.
We're talking about like.
What, Tommy?
we're talking about UGC Niagara, and then all of a sudden it's like. Come and drink. Just like, just out of nowhere.
Tommy, the floor is all yours. We will not say a word about
thank you.
G-Fuel.
Okay. Good riddance. No, I'm kidding. I thought UGC Niagara overall was a pretty awesome event. Obviously, I watched from home. There were some technical issues, but generally speaking, I think the event was pretty awesome. I think the biggest surprise for me in terms of places was probably Boreal. I think they were like the 13th seed and they ended up placing like 5th. So, but I think we can all agree that Team Caliber or Envy was going to win it. They were the two high-profile teams there, should we say? But obviously, Envy were kind of lacking.
Well, I took a lot longer than I thought I would.
With Saints not being there and Merkin. I'm done. I'm just going to leave. I'm done. I quit.
What happened?
We're back from commercial.
He was talking. You jumped in, yeah.
What was that like? How much did I miss?
You missed about an hour of the show. No, I'm kidding. We were just talking about UGC Niagara. We were talking about Tommy. Go ahead, Tommy. You're good, pal.
I'm done.
Okay, you're done.
I'm done.
Well, I'm sure.
In fact, I'll mute my mic.
I'm sure Fox has a lot to say, so I'll just say, I watched about 6.5 minutes of this event.
All right.
I'm just being honest.
No, I understand.
And I turned it on. I told Fox in DM, but I turned it on, and literally his mouth was not lined up with what he was saying, and it was just like, I'm like, what? And then there was this buzzing sound. I couldn't watch it, and so it sucks for people like Fox and the pro players that went and arrived, and someone like Fox who's casting his butt off like every match, and people weren't watching in mass. And I think we guessed last week. I think I was the only one that said there's no way the stream's going to hit 50K. I don't know what it ended up hitting. But I, of course, knew that TK or Envy would win. And it was, I hope it's not the only event that TK wins this year, but I think it's good for the morale of that team. Like Parasite's, it's good for him to prove to that team that they can get a win. People were complaining to Parasite on Twitter, like, I can't believe you put the UGC win in your bio. There was only 2 pro teams there, blah, blah, blah. A win's a win. Like, just because
it's
teams
20K.
Didn't go.
Dude, it's just the COD community.
It's
just because
people
teams
look for
didn't go,
reasons.
like, I just, that kind of drives me bananas. It's like, okay, so if Optic, Denial, FaZe, and Optic Nation all failed at champs, and the winner was like TR. It was like TR versus let's say Epsilon. Well, no, Epsilon's a good team. Let's say TR versus Threes Up was the COD champs final, and people would complain like, "Oh, you didn't really have to play against anyone." And I think TK did a good job. They had to win. They had to beat Envy to win, and they beat Envy. So
I think honestly, if Optic Gaming would have switched with Envy, like Optic and TK are the only teams there, everyone would be like, "Oh, this is a serious lane. This is Optic Gaming's here. Oh my god!" Like, I think it's just because of the teams that were there. Like it was TK and Envy, but I know even Fox was there. But go ahead.
Even though Landon, Parasite, former Optic player, Merc, former Optic player, Proof, former Optic player, TP, former Optic player. So Optic was there.
I don't count Parasite.
Yeah, I wouldn't count Parasite. I don't think Parasite was there for long enough.
He was on Optic as long as Fox was gone, basically.
So we're talking like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So Fox, from your perspective as someone who was there, what was the venue like? What was the the stream that you were, or what did you hear? What was it like being there? How was the event? How were the pros, teams, blah blah blah?
I had a very great weekend. I had a lot of fun. It was a great experience in general. I don't have anyone that I was just like I wish I didn't meet them. Like everyone was just fantastic. Everyone was hardworking, but I noticed right off the bat, just it was very different coming from an MLG event to then the UGC event. Just the production. It seemed like MLG had like backups for their backups, you know. But whereas at UGC, they didn't do like dry runs or rehearsals before the stream started, stuff like that, and that worried me. Like any of the days, like even after the technical difficulties, no one took advantage of the fact that both Tim and I showed up an hour early before matches, and like wanted to test the mics or anything like that. We just did it all on the fly, and if something went wrong, something went wrong. Just the very first day, also like when that team didn't show up, no one was like using the intercom until it was showtime to find that team and figure out why they're not showing up on the main stage. Mm-hmm. So it was just a lot of things were done last minute, and it just seemed like people waited until it became a problem to take care of it. But
yeah,
other than that, it looked great. Everything looked beautiful. It was set up so well. The environment was just great. I mean, it was just a fun time. And I love all the people there. It was a great experience. It's just there's a few things that did bother me. I told them this. Like I was giving them a little bit of feedback when we were crossing the border back into the U.S. I was like, really, the only issue is that people weren't proactive enough, and I really couldn't even. I don't know. I couldn't really pick at too much else. The internet issue with the stream going down, that was not UGC's fault. I promise you guys that right now. It was not like that was not on the event. That was not on them. And it was really irritating to deal with on my end too. Because like how you guys talking about things were delayed. I had my headset on listening to game sound stuff. It was delayed for me too, and I could hear my own voice super loud, like 2 seconds later, echoing back into my ears. So I'm in the middle of my sentence, hearing what I had just said. It was really tripping me up, and I had to like adjust to it and tune it out for the first couple of hours, and it was frustrating. But they got that fixed eventually. The delay was made much shorter, so like what I said was almost immediate, and it was less of a bother. But you know, things like that. Where some of the pro players, I was asking them, like, hey, in your S&Ds, did we speak quietly enough? Because we were whispering during intense moments. We didn't want to give anything away. And they said, yeah, you're not the problem. It's just they're right next to us and they can hear our call-outs. So that was another thing that kind of sucked. But overall, I think it was just great. It was just a lot of unlucky audio issues that were happening. They were, at one point, like, a good decision that they made, I think. They were like, all right, we're not going to put the stream up yet. Right now, it's just a bunch of amateur teams. We're going to try and take the stream down so that I can mess with all these plugs and the audio issues and stuff like that. And then we'll hopefully have it fixed before the pro teams go on. Just that's the way it was scheduled, which was a smart move. It's just, why wasn't someone showing up early that Saturday, since we had so many problems Friday, to figure out what was going wrong, you know, instead of now? But, I mean, it seemed like it was just one person that was doing the job of multiple people too. Like when I was at MLG, it was Ron and I think his name's Clayton. They were doing a job of what one person was doing at this event, for instance. But something I thought was cool was they had the live DJ. He worked really, really well with our production guy, so that was pretty awesome. Like he got a lot of good feedback too. The way it was just live music the whole time. It wasn't just a playlist from Monster Cat or something. It was him actually mixing the entire 12 hours, standing in that same spot, not complaining once. You know, so they hired the right guy on that end. As for me, they treated me very well. You know, there was always someone that was trying to help me out, trying to make sure that I was okay. I mean, they saw my throat was going sore. And I like because just from running my mouth for 10 hours straight, you know, because we were the only two casters, and that was really tough too. I mean, it's just
Did you
like
guys know that, or was it like you show up?
Yeah, we knew it.
Okay,
no, we knew it, but like I wasn't gonna tell them how to run their event.
Oh
you know?
No, I was just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, I mean, I'm fine. I could stay awake forever. I'll do it.
It's good for you as a person as well.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure that was a huge.
It's like, regardless of how I feel, like I was telling, they were like, you know, we could just get a pro player, one of the refs were trying to come up and cast, and I was just like, no, it's okay. No, really, you know, they kept trying to ask us, and I was just like, look, I came here to do a job, right? They asked me to do this job. I'm all the way out here. They flew me out here. They did all this stuff. I'm going to do the job that I was asked regardless of how I feel about it. You know, I could not want to talk about COD right now, but that's my job. It was to talk about COD, so that's what I'm going to do. And they understood that, so I casted the entire time. I think there was one single series I took off, and it was because Sender wanted to come up with Tim. So,
yeah.
Tim, by the way, did a great job for his. I think it was his second time being on like in an actual land setting. He kind of got thrown into it last year at Niagara. We kind of clicked right off the bat. Really, we were just cool dudes. He was cool together. It was really great working with him. I did notice like his sort of inexperience with it, just in the fact that just in game he doesn't really play it much, but he's such a great speaker and a great person to have a conversation with that it was just kind of natural. The chemistry was just there. So shout out to him. But are there any specific questions you had? I just wanted to give you my general sort of summary of how the event was run itself. Do you have any specific questions or anything about Niagara?
You covered most
Lando.
names.
I was going to ask, actually, as a whole, do you think that there could have been any... I know you said that they could have planned a little bit more, but do you guys think that there could have been anything that they could have done better that could have made the stream stay up a little bit? Because I know you said the problems with the stream going down wasn't their problem. I understand that. For me, it was the audio quality and like the video not being on the same track. And I know it's very difficult to run an event. I'm not taking anything away from the difficulty of certain things. To me, just watching the stream and turning it on, and it was like the first, I think 2 hours, it was only my left ear. I could only hear people out of my left ear. The game sound was fine, but just out of the left ear, there was buzzing. But honestly, I want to point this out. I'm not a person to focus on the negatives, but the grand final to me was absolutely phenomenal. I enjoyed watching the grand final. It was a great series overall. It was one of my favorite series, to be honest, of the entire year. How close and how good it was. I feel like the casting was just like it was even better than what you guys have been doing the entire time, and I felt like the quality of the stream was at its best at the end of the stream as well. So I definitely want to give you guys props for that. But like I said, do you guys think there could have been anything to have made it better that they didn't do that they could have, or anything in that sense?
One thing I noticed was that like there was gonna be a whole lot of downtime. I think especially like on the first and second day. Like I don't know if you noticed, but obviously there's a lot of amateur teams. So I took the initiative. I was like, all right, we can't just keep running through these amateur teams. People are going to get bored. No one knows who these people are. So I was like, hey, look, before every single series, I want to take one of the amateur players off the main stage and interview them. Give people a sense of who this guy is. Give them someone to root for, at least know what to expect. So I had 3 different questions that I asked everyone, even the pro players when I went up there, just for consistency purposes. I was like, who are you? Who do you represent? The second question was, what can we expect from you? Like, what is your role for this team in these first 2 maps, whatever it may have been? I said. The third question is, what can we expect from your teammates? So you would call them by name, you would give their weapon of choice, just their style of play, how they met, things like that. And I just don't think that if I took the initiative to do that, then I don't think anyone else would have stepped up and said, hey, we need to fill time. Except Max. Max definitely would have said something.
Yeah. So. A couple things in the tournament that I wanted to mention was actually, I know Kingdom didn't watch it a whole lot, but you can still kind of give insight if what you saw. But who were your guys' MVPs of the tournament? I watched a good amount of UGC Niagara. I said I watched like 70 to 80% of the entire thing. But I want to know you guys, if you guys did watch it, who was your MVP of the tournament? I know Fox obviously can give a very detailed answer about because he was there. But I'm gonna start with Tommy, then to Kingdom, and then to Fox. Who do you guys think was the MVP of UGC Niagara?
I would give it to Parasite. I've said it from the start. I think the dude is just a really, really good asset to any team on LAN. He brings a lot of experience. I thought this weekend TK obviously needed to change things up after their past roster, and I feel like he's the correct ingredient, if you will. And I just thought he played very, very consistent all weekend. And he's the player you need in them situations when, they went down 3-0 to Envy in the grand finals. Right then you're losing composure. And he's one of the players that can bring that team alive and kind of bring them through it. And, probably why they were able to come back and then 3-0 Envy in the grand final, the second best of 5. So for me, it had to be Parasite.
Parasite? Kingdom?
I'm guessing. Because I watched nothing. I haven't looked at any stats. I would have said Parasite before. Oh, Taylor, you're at Intel. Okay. But I'm gonna go with Looney because the chat is saying that Looney was MVP. He had some great sniper kills.
Some great snipes. Right?
Whoa. Anyone would have thought you watched the event.
Hey, look, let me tell you guys, I can spit baloney with the best of them. No, I would have said Parasite, probably just imagining that his S&D play was very helpful. I think, like I said 2 sticks ago, he will be an asset to TK because he hates losing. And will yell and scream if he has to get his team's attention to not lose. And so, as annoying as that might be, I feel like he's a benefit to that team, even if Looney got most of the kills and did the best slaying-wise. I think Parasite is an asset to a Goonjar and a Sharp, who like to have fun on the sticks and like to play. Not that Sharp's not a good player, but those guys have a little bit more positivity even when they lose. Even when they lose to teams they shouldn't lose to, they're still positive. But Parasite's like, no, I'm going to throw my beanie, I'm going to throw my headset, and walk away and start screaming, and somebody's going to leave their stream on, so we're going to all get to laugh at it on YouTube. But I think Haggy is a Parasite, Chris, whatever you want to call him. I think he's an asset to that team, and I think it would have been a different outcome. Envy would have won this if it was the old school TK roster, in my opinion.
Fox?
I can agree with that 100%. For me, my MVP was TP. I wanted to say Looney as well. He would be my second choice. But TP was easily the MVP. He had so many clutch plays throughout his entire run through the event. Like, there were just so many huge things. Like, even if it wasn't like a three-piece or something, which, by the way, he did get a lot of, just a simple stun or a simple just great kill, and one single kill in positioning, stopping the objective for the other team, things like that. I mean, we all saw the overtime flag cap that he got on that Biolab CTF. That's one, for instance, like one flashy play, but he had so many clutch plays. He was just in the right place at the right time, and he put himself there. And I chose him as my MVP, and that's why at the end I chose to interview him. At the end of one of his series, I chose to interview him because I really wanted to, congratulate him on that. I thought he was doing great the entire weekend, and obviously it's expected. They're playing against a lot of amateur teams.
Yeah,
even against Threes Up and Envy, though. I mean, even against Threes Up and TK, he was playing great.
Envy, an amateur team?
Oh, roasted.
What?
Roasted.
Oh, yeah, Fox didn't know.
For personally, my MVP of the tournament, I had Looney written down 3 times, but I actually forgot about TP, to be honest with you. I actually couldn't remember how many times he came up clutch in a lot of these situations that you had mentioned. And I know a couple people are saying in the chat, you can't be the MVP if you're not on the winning team. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think someone can be the most valuable player of their team and lead them to certain places. For instance, I'm not going to try to love LeBron or anything, but LeBron dominated for the Cavs whenever he was not.
Did you see what I just did?
No, what'd you put?
I made an LBJ before you even said it. Before you even said it. Great minds think alike.
Hey, Tim's in the chat. I didn't realize Tim was in the chat.
Great minds think alike, Landon. Great minds think
alike. I guess so. Sorry. But no, you're fine. I was just saying, I think the MVP can be honestly from any team. It really can. And just because the other team, another team that might have better teamwork together, doesn't mean that the best player, the most valuable asset to a team, can't win at all. And Spurs win, LeBron gets MVP. Not necessarily. That's not actually what happened. But I think honestly, even whenever the Cavs weren't winning, LeBron was absolutely dominating for his team. I feel like that's what TP did as well. I think Looney absolutely dominated. Looney had some insane kills and whatnot. Obviously, they're both on the same team, but it just comes down to teamwork. And usually, the team that has the teamwork wins the games, regardless if the MVP's on your team or not. I think whenever you have the MVP on your team and your team works well, that team is going to be absolutely dominant. But so that was kind of our MVPs of the tournament. Next. What were the biggest or your most favorite tournament moments? This one is kind of mostly for Fox, but I want to point out, I already mentioned the grand final. I think that was great. And I also wanted to point out Holler, I believe, I can't remember what team he was from. Purist. And he got 57 kills in a hard point, and they still lost.
Really?
But that was an insane performance, yeah.
His teammates don't know how to play hard point. That's what it was. Holler was the only one. Every single hard point was like that. All of them. Holler dropped huge numbers, and it's not like he was playing the objective. All of his kills were in and around the objective. I wish I could remember, but I know it was a good amount. He was in the hill with DML. He's surprising. He was just pre-firing. He just knew where the other team was coming from.
Oh, wow.
He did it twice, apparently.
Only said he's got hacks.
He's got a hack. So
yeah, he was just it's also the 5% increase to LMG movement. It helped him out a bit, so you're not super sluggish, and he had stock on it, so you could just move around while aim with his left stick essentially. So as long as he knows where they're coming from, he can just pre-aim that wall, whatever it may be, and he's in a good position.
He did it twice.
No, that's what somebody said. I don't remember that. There was another time where he dropped like 45 kills. I don't remember who it was against though.
Jeez.
And they lost that hard point because that's just what that's how they should not have. I don't know, man. That was just crazy. His team, he should have won so many more hard points with his performance.
Yeah. Were there any other moments though that you like coming from a caster? I know it's a lot different. Just the overall experience of it. But do you have any personal moments or just overall that you like enjoyed most? I guess you could say.
Specifically, you're talking about just specifically like as casting or just being in Canada?
It can be anything, anything at all.
Oh, I mean, I got to hang out with the guys at TK for a lot of the weekend. They're all awesome dudes. But I want to keep it related to the tournament. So I'd say my favorite moment as a caster was, I want to say the grand finals. That's too easy. That's an easy way out because the grand finals was probably the most exciting moment of the entire event. You already said it was like production-wise was the best as well. But doing my first interview, let me say that. Like, I'd never done an interview before, and I was just, like, it was a spur of the moment thing. I was like, I'm not just going to sit here and have these guys watch nothing while we run commercial breaks. I was like, all right, I'm just going to pull an interview while they get set up or while the other team gets warmed up. So just doing that, I was really, I was hoping that I wouldn't be, like, I'm not going to be nervous, but I was hoping that I wouldn't stumble on my words, kind of like how I am now, but that's just because I'm so tired. I was hoping that it wouldn't be awkward. I was hoping that the other guy wouldn't mess it up, and he didn't, and I didn't, and it went great. The interview, my very first interview, was my favorite part.
I like that. All right.
Awesome sauce.
So we actually have a lot more events that are coming up. We're obviously going to leave ESWC to the Brits to do their show, which I believe is on Wednesday. Tommy, what time is that?
Indeed. We're live 5:30 p.m. British Standard Time. What's 12:30 Eastern, and so on and so forth.
All right. So, and ESWC actually coming up this weekend. It's going to be in 5 days or 6. I have this things wrong, but anyway, either way. So ESWC coming up, Gfinity the very next weekend. After that, we have UMG California, then MES Detroit, and then in 39 days, I believe, is X Games Austin. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about coming in the future. And what?
That's very precise, 39 days.
Oh, I saw someone tweet it, so I was like, I'm just going to totally copy and paste this.
My first land. UMG Cal.
Hey, you're going to yeah,
Make it happen.
We going to see any vlogs?
No, I'm already going. I bought my tickets. I took it off work.
I'm not going to say anything, but
me and the wife are going to do Kingdom and Wifey vlogs, probably.
Oh, good.
I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just going to say that May is going to be a very busy month for me, and I look forward to it.
Hopefully not by yourself, though.
Yes.
So I
gotta wait for announcements.
Should we go to a commercial, or should we just go with the next topic? It really doesn't, because this next topic is huge.
We can go next topic, and then we'll do a commercial after that, because I'm going to end up running out of time pretty soon.
Okay, so next thing to talk about that's underway is the
I'm
Black
so
Ops
excited about this.
3 reveal trailer. I believe, Goalie, do you have that ready to play for us all? Thank you, Goalie. This is why I love.
I was
goals.
talking to dude. I'm so excited about this. So excited. I told Kingdom weeks ago. I was like, look, next time we talk about Black Ops 3, I really want to be on the show.
Okay, we definly have a lot to talk about. But yeah, I think we're going ahead and play the trailer for you guys. If you guys haven't seen it, make sure to well, actually just watch it because you're already here. Never mind.
If you haven't seen it, you're a detriment.
Yeah, there you go. But we're going to play it. We'll be silent. Go ahead and watch it. Black Ops 3 trailer. Here we go. Boom! So you guys just saw the Black Ops 3 reveal trailer. You've probably already seen it, but if you haven't, like Keenum said, you're a detriment. I'm sorry. You just are. If you haven't seen it, man, detrimental status. Oh my!
Wow, man, shut up. Just kidding. Bless you, Kingdom.
What is Tommy doing?
Sorry,
Tommy's talking to his girlfriend.
I apologize.
Jeez, no dedication.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay, Tommy.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the chat is getting scared because of the zombie part. But yeah, so this trailer released a lot of info, and I want to point this out. First thing that we noticed from the trailer, and that you guys got excited about immediately. I just want to know one thing. You guys saw the trailer, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, wow!" I'm gonna go ahead and start with Fox this time. I'm gonna go to Kingdom, and then Tommy. I'm gonna end with myself. First thing, when you saw the trailer, what surprised you? What got you hyped the most?
Go. Well, at 117, I remember the mark specifically. Or actually, it was 114, I think. Seeing the player leap up really high into the sky over a wall scared me a little bit. But then I looked more into it, and that's not a normal mechanic. I don't know what that was, but I really hope that's not normal. That's what immediately jumped out to me, really. I was watching the whole thing, and I'm like, all right, as long as everybody's on the ground, everybody's on the ground, everybody's on the ground. Yep, they're fighting on the ground. That's really what I was paying attention to the most.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Who was it? Who was next? I forgot who was next. Did I remember? Let's go to Kingdom.
Me, maybe.
Yeah.
The first thing I noticed was the hand turning into a gun. That was what that and the jump onto the back of the truck trailer. Those two things are what I noticed the most. It was different from what I've seen in the past. Everything else was like watching a Call of Duty trailer. Cool music, you know, that starts slow and then goes into action. Great editing. Blah 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 blah. I think it was great. I've watched some of the, like Hitch is saying we should watch Team Art. I've watched Team Art and the guys that have played the game and what they've talked about. Team Art uploaded 10 videos the day that this game was launched.
That's insane. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, that's very insane. And I think Drifter played it as well, and he was saying that the pistols feel good. But what I most noticed in the beginning was when the hand turned into a gun, and I don't know mechanically how that's going to work out. The punch thing, of course, was noticeable as well. And that person jumping on the back of the truck, that concerned me. So, Rambro 718.
Woo!
Welcome to the STiKS fam.
I'll probably just.
Everyone's going woo.
Hitches in the chat. Where's the Kingdom froze that should be green, but they're not?
If only.
Okay, I think it's my turn. If I'm not mistaken,
you are
I feel
next.
I feel like I've got the best pick from the bunch. Really, I really like the swimming. I come from a swimming background, so I just love that. Like the fact that you're able to swim and like have your gun out and.
Are you a British Michael Phelps?
Yeah, Tommy.
But I thought it was a really cool feature. Also, from watching, I think it was Drifter's video, if I'm not mistaken. Apparently, according to him, you can have multiple attachments on guns. We're not talking just 3. We're talking like 5, 6, 7. But obviously, it takes up more of your pick 10. So I thought that was something cool as well. But obviously, that wasn't in the trailer, so I kind of stuck it on the end.
We'll definitely be talking about everything that was mentioned. But the first thing that I noticed, honestly, and I actually did a stream as soon as the trailer was released talking about everything that was going on, but I noticed the gore from World at War was back. If you guys noticed in some of the trailer, in most of the trailer, whenever someone would die, their legs were like flying, like their body was just exploding. Like I hate this like sound like super creepy here, but I really enjoyed the gore from World at War in a way. Just like the style of dying to me.
Painful?
Yeah, I love when people die. That's basically what I'm trying to say here.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
I probably should have said that.
Roster main confirmed.
But off of that, I also noticed the knife. I hope you guys saw that. Whenever that guy's holding the knife and he like switches it in his hand, that knife looks sick. CS:GO knives coming to Call of Duty, confirmed. That's totally what I'm talking about. Oh man, I'm just dropping all kinds of intel. Huh?
I heard it's a 2-hit kill with a knife.
Is it?
Yeah, you have to hit him. I've been saying this since Ghost that it needs to be a 2-hit.
Does that mean we could do like knives and fists? Like
you can't panic knife anymore.
You could have a free for all where you just like are punching each other. Like that would be dope.
You actually could.
Oh my god!
Like it's not riot shields anymore. It's now punching.
Like you could have a free for all where someone has a knife that has to hit you twice with it, and they punch, and you'd just be like.
So we're taking Call of Duty and boxing.
Yes, it would be like a Royal Rumble boxing match.
Oh my god! Throw people over the top rope. That'd be pretty fun. Landon equals Dexter. I know, guys. I just love when people die. That's I'm a creep.
You just like blood and gore. There's nothing wrong with that. You like a man die every now and again.
Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate it. No, just in video games. Just in video games. That's all I'm trying to say. Just in video games. But no, they actually had a stream yesterday as well. I know some people didn't watch it. But I actually had 40 1,000 people at one point in twitch.tv/The Race. If you guys aren't familiar with them, they basically race to prestige as fast as they can whenever it actually comes out, the game comes out, and try to get there before anyone else does. They're actually now sponsored by Call of Duty or Treyarch, and they're actually had a kind of like a podcast in a way talking about it, and they had an exclusive interview with Mark Lamia and also everyone knows David Vonderhaar, and they had some pretty interesting quotes that I actually wrote down here that we're going to be talking about, and all of this stuff was actually in the trailer and stuff that they announced. So I'm going to be kind of going over the quotes that they had, and we're kind of going to give our 2 cents about it, and then kind of just talk about everything that was announced because there's a lot of stuff. So one thing that they announced was the HCXD is now confirmed for Black Ops 3. That's the new RCXD car. It's going to be in every game. They also said, let's go play some co-op campaign. I know there's been a lot of quotes talking.
Co-op campaign.
Yeah, I've heard some people say that as well as 2-player. I'm not really sure. But thoughts on a co-op campaign? Will we see this be the new, I guess you could say, well, I'm not really sure. Well, I'm guessing it'll be single player and co-op. Do you guys like this idea or no? Keenum's holding a thumb, so I'm hoping that's good.
I am more than ecstatic about this. The disappointment that I've had with gaming these days is that because of online multiplayer, they have almost eliminated making good co-op games. Like, what was the game with the dude that would dress in all black and had like the, half of the game you could wear your goggles that you guys don't even remember. You guys don't remember this game? Like the dude was dressed in all black and he snuck around.
You're giving a really good description.
Splinter Cell?
Yes. When they did Splinter Cell, like where you could do 2-player co-op and you could do like moves together where one guy would throw the rope up and then he'd climb up and then hold it for the other guy. I mean, those games were so sick. I've played all of them. I've played Kane and Lynch. I've played, I forget the one with the 2 big dudes that ran around with the masks on their faces where you could personalize the masks. And they came out with another one of those too. But I think that, and I've played Halo, 4 players co-op is fun. And so the ability to play Call of Duty with the level of just like graphically what Call of Duty does and the story that it tells, I will finally be playing another Call of Duty campaign. And I'm excited to play it with maybe the STiKS fam. I mean, I don't know, but I'm excited to play this game through. There's going to be awesome YouTube content playthroughs of this game. I mean, you're going to get to put 4 YouTubers together and have them make great videos where they're playing through the game together on hard, and I think to me that's just going to be dope. Like, I'm very excited about 4-player co-op. Very, very excited that it's coming to. I don't know where they're getting the room on the game itself to make that, but with everything being installed, like I can't imagine how big this game is going to be if you download it to your Xbox.
You're going to have to buy a whole new console for it.
Yeah, adding the ability to put 4 Army of 2. That's right. I love that game. I played through it with my brother.
I loved it, but it was such a cheesy game, dude. The dialogue, especially.
It was. I'll be like, Fox, you're right, and that's why I'm excited about Call of Duty doing it, because they won't do cheesy. They'll do epic. Actually, like when Halo did 4 players, it was actually pretty good. I liked it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I am. I mean, it's gonna be fun. I'll actually play the campaign for sure. I didn't touch Ghost campaign. I haven't played Advanced Warfare's campaign. Last one I played was Black Ops 2, and I did sort of like that one, but I'm really just generally uninterested in that sort of stuff. So maybe Black Ops 3 is what's going to change that for me.
I hope so.
Exactly. I think it's definitely their goal in mind to not just make it multiplayer only. But some other things that got me super excited. No, go ahead. You have anything else?
I was gonna say, like, I just don't, for Call of Duty, I don't look for it for a single player experience. I look for it to solely multiplayer, and I get single player experience out of other games that have a more fleshed out campaign instead of Call of Duty. It's just kind of rinse and repeat. Like, dude, bro, big macho guy, kills a bunch of probably Russian, probably something guys, and then saves the world or something, and then his best friend dies.
But if you add, like, Fox, you're right, but if you add 3 people that you know that can laugh and do silly stuff with you, that's why zombies, like, people love playing zombies together. Like, I'm excited to play, because I don't play zombies, I'm excited to play that. Yeah, so, and it's a standalone, Zombies is a standalone game at launch, I believe.
Zombies I love.
Yeah.
I love zombies.
Yeah.
Zombies is fun. I'm glad that's back. That's like, I think that's a good, like like comic relief kind of like arcadey type thing to go alongside multiplayer. I would honestly be satisfied if it was just zombies and multiplayer, and the zombies had like some like zombies already has a crazy storyline of its own. Like I'd rather see that be its own thing rather than Call of Duty have its own theme and coming out every year. But that's just me.
Yeah, I definitely. But some other quotes that he mentioned, which got me super excited talking about competitive, was he actually said directly, it has to be a competitive game for it to be fun. Absolutely agree with that. I think the reason why Black Ops 2 was so great was because it was so much like the regular game. That's why people enjoyed it so much. Kill streaks were there. Or score streaks, whatever, were all involved, and it was such a good game. And something else he mentioned was lanes, combat still in frame. So definitely, he said in the mind, we're not messing with the lanes. We're going to keep it 3 lanes only. He said he wants to keep it simple with that. But the traditional 3-lane style works for Call of Duty. Don't mess it up. It's going to be great. So competitive in mind. I love what David Vonderhaar had to say about that. In your guys' opinions, do you guys think this is good?
You got to keep in mind, though, competitive could just mean literally competitive. It doesn't have to mean esports. You know, he said he's going to speak on esports later on.
But that's
like
that's
Destiny has competitive multiplayer. You know, everything is competitive. If it's multiplayer and you're playing against someone else, it's competitive multiplayer. But, I mean, yeah, you can sort of read in between the lines and assume that that's what he's talking about. I'm sure that David Vonderhaar still has great interest. He shows it all the time, even throughout, you know, games that aren't his, being Ghost and Advanced Warfare. So I'm sure that that's can only be good news, right?
We hope so. That's definitely something in mind. But I'm gonna kind of go through the list in a quick order manner because we don't have to make the show too long talking about every single thing. Some things that they announced were such things as the Pick 10 system, score streaks. I already mentioned the RCXD car kill streak score streak. And what Tommy said earlier, players can now have up to 6 attachments on their primary weapon. My God, you're gonna have a pretty stacked weapon if you play into that. But keep in mind, that's gonna take some of your slots.
You've only got to pick 10. You've only got to pick 10. So you have to bear that in mind.
I just can't imagine.
I hope the way they do it, it doesn't turn out like Advanced Warfare where just double nades because the score streaks aren't good and stuff. I just hope that there's no slots that go to waste when this game gets played at higher levels of competition.
Score streaks are different. Score streaks aren't included. They're different slots. I'm
just saying that like the way it works, I just hope that it's like it's not worth having a decked out M8 and getting rid of grenades, you know? Or like how does it work for grenades? Do we know? I didn't get to watch Drifter's video yet for that.
It's just like Black Ops 2. You have obviously a wild card to add an additional nade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you still only have one smoke?
I'm not sure. We have no.
Okay.
I'm sure Fizzurp and Killer were on the edge of their seats waiting to see what can we have 6 smokes? Is that not?
Can we have 6? Can we have 6 smokes?
Wall running. What do you guys think about wall running? Like I was listening to Drifter talk about it, and I kind of like it a lot more than I did before. Like at first I was just like, of course they got some stupid gimmicky movement in their game. Yeah. But
I don't think it doesn't look like it's used too much. I watched Drifter's video as well, and he didn't say that he used it. Like he said, 95% of the time he was having gunfights on the ground.
Yeah, and I like that. I mean, I think it's cool that it's there as an option, but it's not 100% like you have to use it all the time. It's probably just very situational, which is, I think, a very nice touch. Because I don't know, I wouldn't really want to see it like Titanfall where you never lose momentum and you just bounce from wall to wall and you're kind of all over the place. I don't think it works for this game. I don't think it's necessary either.
Yeah, I think honestly, wall running will be used. They're good at balancing stuff. I have some pretty good confidence in them to do so. So I've actually had wall running on here as well. Next thing, theater mode making a return. Thank God, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm gonna make so many good YouTube videos.
Yes, I know. And honestly, something that I want to note, this could actually help the competitive scene in a way. Now, keep this in mind. Say that you have theater mode up, you go to a recent match that you were in, and you can maybe replay something, or maybe even look at the map as a whole. This can completely revolutionize, watching film, watching games that you previously played, going over, like you can literally go back to exactly what you guys had played and look at everything, why you didn't rotate at this current point in time, like why did this player, what's that goalie? Yeah, you could. Yeah, exactly. You could literally. You can see exactly what's causing you problems, and it also can help YouTubers to make videos that get their best gameplays and even go over stuff as well. I think this is going to be perfect. So I'm really excited about that. Next thing they mentioned was also connection-based matchmaking. and skill-based is a secondary goal in multiplayer. So basically what they said was connection is their primary goal in multiplayer, and then kind of as a secondary is what's going to be their skill-based in multiplayer. That's kind of how they've always been. They try to get you the best connection, and then after that, they try to fit you in with players that are up to your guys' skill. You guys like that in multiplayer? Or do you guys think Advanced Warfare did it right, purely skill-based only?
I think that it's not.
Yeah, it's. Go ahead, Fox.
No, I want to hear what you have to say first. I have my opinion, but I want to hear yours.
This is hard. I mean, I think this is one of those areas where we don't understand how hard it is for them to do this, to make sure everybody actually can get in a lobby and can play a game, and what they're up against by making a matchmaking system. Because if it takes too long to get a good game, then we're going to complain. If it's really fast to get a game, but you get in a game where the connection is crap, we're going to complain. If it takes really fast, but you get in a game where you're clearly outmatched, we're going to complain. It's like, it has to be one of the hardest jobs for these companies that make games that have online multiplayer. It has to be difficult for them to make this part of their game, like how it chooses, like the algorithms that they use. I can't imagine the person whose job that is, how difficult it is. So I think I would rather have it be this way than skill-based first, of course, because skill-based will put people, maybe me and Tommy play with the same skills, so it'll put someone from the EU in. And so
we got a completely different server.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
I think the connection.
Let's hope so.
I think the connection is best. Is that it goes for connection first? That somebody that can connect to you, where they're not going to be skipping across the map or anything like that. Like when me and Hitch and Todd were playing Black Ops 2 last week, and it was like, I think it was Todd that was literally. I mean, he was skipping around the map while we were playing League play, and so I think doing connection first makes the most sense. However, just like what happened with me, Hitch, and Todd. If you play with your friends and they live in weird areas, you're still going to always have. That's the thing that I don't think the game developers can fix that we wish they could. Like if I play with Tommy and Ray, if I play with, let's say I play with Landon, Goalie, and my friend Ocho. Like for some reason, me and Ocho, he's in Dallas. When we connect to each other, we both have a disadvantage as a result, and it's bad for both of us. And so there's nothing that they can do to fix that. Like they can't. How can they do connection-based matchmaking when people are running with 2 of their friends or 3 of their friends? And so I do think it's good that they're putting connection first. I guess that would be I don't know how difficult it is. I'm sure it's difficult, but putting connection before skill.
I'm under the understanding that I think I heard Michael Conjure already say that connection still goes first in Advanced Warfare, and then it goes skill-based. And I think that the main problem is the population. We don't even see the population count, but I think the fact that we're all spread in between 4 different consoles and then PC, that is a huge problem. So I think that if we just see this be PS4 and Xbox One PC exclusive, that everything in general for the game will just be a lot better. That's probably not what people want to hear, but I'm trying to think for people as a whole. We got to stop thinking of ourselves as individuals for this game. I just think that for the game itself and the community as a whole, it would be better for it to move on to current gen and not be held back by hardware from 8 years ago.
Interesting. I mean, a problem that I have from being at home, I have 2 brothers. Obviously, we're all on the same connection. We find it actually really hard to connect to each other. And I've had like this in different places, and I know different people with the problems. I don't know what that is, but it really frustrates me. Like, if we wanted to play together, we can't, basically, because for whatever reason, either we can all connect together and no one else can, or we can't connect to each other. What really frustrates me.
Yeah, I honestly think, adding on to all your guys' points, I think connection-based in regular multiplayer lobbies is great. Basing that first off. And I think, honestly, focusing on skill-based is where League play comes into what that's for. I think
I'm so
skill-based in a way is good, but I think honestly, like Fox is getting excited for, that's what League play is all about.
I need the fix, dude. I need to hand out my IP a little bit,
But in the back of your mind, they didn't announce League play, but there's gonna be League play. We kind of all have to. We know it's gonna happen. But next thing, obviously, you guys saw at the very end, Zombies return. No big surprise there. Treyarch's going to do what they always do and make a great Zombies mode. Campaign also set in 2065. We saw that kind of with the listings a couple days ago in the other trailer. And also, not one of the last things, but something to note: Black Ops 3 multiplayer will be available at E3 2015. There will actually be a couple opportunities to be able to play the game early before anyone else, and your opportunity is at E3. Tommy, did you raise your hand? Is that what you did? Did you raise your hand? Oh,
I know it's at Gamescom as well, but I didn't raise my hand. But that's for the E.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, well, no one cares about that.
Yeah, they're all asleep. They're all asleep. No one cares. Apart from me.
Oh wow. Okay. I see what you're doing there, but something to point out, and I'm not trying to like go off on another rant. I know we have to end the show here in a little bit, but they're really focusing a lot right now on the PlayStation side of things for PS4. Even whenever you go to the Call of Duty website, whenever they say to pre-order the game, they say select a platform. The first thing up is PlayStation 4. The only way you're going to be able to play the game at E3, I believe, is on PlayStation 4. They're really hyping it up. Xbox has not announced any certain deal. What I'm thinking is that we're going to see... Speaking of competitive, I don't want competitive to switch over to the PlayStation 4. I'm mostly a PlayStation 4 player, so coming from me, that's got to say a lot. I think what we're going to see is kind of the Xbox deal that
it already expired,
Xbox,
didn't it?
Well, it's going to at the end of this game.
Didn't it?
I think
that's what I was going to say. Didn't the Activision / Xbox marriage end this year? Like, wasn't this their last game?
Yeah, that's why I think it's. I think it's this. We're just going to see a switch of roles in a way, but I'm not sure how competitive is going to work with that because it's always kind of been in their same lines of Microsoft super into the game. They want to also be involved in competitive. Now that Sony might have a deal with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, will we see them make a deal in competitive as well? I don't know. We'll have to see, but definitely something to look at. Obviously, Black Ops 3, if you're in the beta, that only works by getting pre-orders. They did announce a big beta that's going to happen as well, so that's going to be absolutely massive.
I'm so excited for that, dude. Oh,
Are you going to try to be in the beta?
I already pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered it on the. I couldn't pre-order when I was in Canada for my phone. I think I was just using the wrong link or whatever because it was only giving me the Canadian website obviously. So I waited till I was as soon as I crossed the border, I went through the Smart Glass app on my phone and pre-ordered it. I have the game. Don't pre-order video games, friends. Don't do it. I'm just doing it because I have to. Do not pre-order video games. Wait for it to come out. Do not pre-order video games.
We have a couple more things to mention, and I don't want to focus on this too much. I know we all have to be places, but they also announced weapon customization in the gunsmith mode, as well as a paint shop feature, which actually they announced. T. Martin mentioned he actually got a little bit of experience with the paint shop mode. Basically, what it is along with your already done camo, you actually get to customize how your gun looks. And actually, there's going to be three sides.
So sick. I'm so sorry, Landon.
On your left side of the gun, your right side of the gun, and on the top of your gun. Each side of your gun is going to have up to 60 layers. So there is going to be massive amounts of customization, making your own camos and whatnot. Going to be awesome. I know Fox is excited about that.
Sorry, I wanted to let you finish.
He's just gone off on a rant.
I think honestly, my mic because I'm so excited about it.
You're just getting jittery?
I'm so pumped for this game. I've never been so happy.
And another thing to mention, and this is one of the biggest things in the release. I know Kingdom was a little bit curious about this as well. Black Ops 3 features new specialist characters in multiplayer. Kingdom doesn't like this, apparently. No one. You guys like this idea?
Not Destiny.
It's dude. Did you see what all the specialist things were? All of those are just like, let's give this. Those are honestly all death streaks. Like they remind me of death streaks.
But aren't they going to have to actually, for competitive, aren't they going to have to make us, we're only using Ruin, or we're only using Seraph, or we're only using Reaper?
Unless there's an option to, toggle them on.
Or, what if they make every team use one of the four? So
that's what I was thinking, too, for consistency, because none of them really add anything. First of all, I don't think you should, at the click of a button, at least in pubs, seeing people through walls, UAVs, that's fine. But I just don't think that, I don't understand why people think or why developers think that in a first-person shooter it's okay to give someone the ability to see people through walls at the press of a button. Promethean Vision in Halo 4, why on earth? What? Come on, that's
bring
you
back
can
the
see
VSAT.
them.
Bring back the VSAT.
That's just ridiculous, man. That should not happen. In pubs, it's fine. It works. It's, it's for fun. It keeps the flow of the gameplay. You know where they're spawning, so it's less random and stuff. But when there's less people on the map in a 4v4 situation, you should not be able to see people through walls. The ground pound thing. You want to explain what they are first before I rip them apart?
Oh, no, that's fine. So some of the features or the specialists, I guess you say, characters are in order: Ruin, Seraph, Outrider, and Reaper, and they each get their own power weapon and ability. For the Ruin, you get Gravity Spikes. That was the guy that had those 2 little lightning rods that were coming down, and his ability is Overdrive, gives the player a burst of speed. So that's kind of like Marathon or lightweight, whatever you want to call it. For the Seraph, it's called the Annihilator, which is basically like the Executioner from Black Ops 2. I think it's just like a huge pistol that shoots in one bullet. And for the Outrider, I believe you get, for your power weapon, it's called a Sparrow. It's like a compound bow. That was like the bow that
looked awesome.
One girl shot. Yeah. You can be Katniss Everdeen walking around the map and whatnot. And for Reaper, you get the power weapon, which is called the Scythe. That's one where you saw that robotic arm coming out of nowhere. And the ability, and this really ticked me off, is called Glitch, which means you can teleport back to a player's position a few seconds before. So say I'm running this way, boom, I'm back over here.
Do you know what that now? There's no way Glitch is gonna make it into competitive. But the funny thing about it is, like, if you ran around a corner and saw someone, you could glitch backwards and then let them waste their bullets shooting at nobody, and then walk around the corner and kill them. Like,
it's so hard because like that just shouldn't be in the game. Like, there's no way to make that, like, even for pub play, there's no way to make that okay. It's like, oh, I made a mistake. See ya. Just back right out of that situation. You could walk into a room. Throw a pack of C4, glitch backwards, blow it up, and you're not gonna die. That's
it's fun though, surely. It's something.
No, it's not fun. I'd be so mad. I already hate when people exo boost away from me.
I'm
now
gonna love using that. I'm gonna love using that.
Of course,
I'm
it's gonna be
one of those little kids. Tommy's a troll.
That's gonna drive me crazy.
I'm just gonna troll everyone.
I was really looking forward to the specialist things being something that actually adds to the depth of the game, but these are all just like get out of jail free cards, honestly. And that's what that's not what you need in a competitive game. Meaning competitive being one team against another.
Can you imagine with theater mode, like, what you could do with that glitch? Like, I mean, you could do some of the silliest crap. Like, you walk to a spot and just sit there, and you act like you're AFK, and then someone's running up to you, and then you just glitch backwards and kill them. Like,
they said that one time T. Martin was he was like punching someone, and the guy literally did the glitch. So T. Martin was getting ready to punch him. The guy glitched. He punches forward, and the guy punched him in the back. Like, it was so easy to use. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I can't imagine.
You wait for someone to make a good play that's about to kill you, and then you completely just like it's like playing a Joker card in a card game.
Montages. I'm sorry. That's gonna make for some sick kills. I think it will add to the game. For pubs at least, maybe not for competitive.
You could do a 360. Oh, think about it. You could do a 360 with a sniper, glitch back to where you were, and keep doing the 360, and then.
Oh no!
You could do like a 1080 kill cam.
You just go over to see Kingdom. He's spinning, spinning, like he just goes back. Missed that one up. Start over.
Fox is like, why are they laughing at this? This
I don't find it funny at all, dude. I'm just so upset.
My life is ruined. My life is over.
We've ruined Fox's life. Ruined it. Literally ruined it.
They're so intelligent, Treyarch and Vonderhaar and everyone, and I just don't understand how this could slip by. Like, this is. It's just mind-boggling how dumb it is.
It's a bit of fun. Come on. It's a bit of fun for the casual
I'm not going to have fun.
Trying to...
Bro, you need to line up. Come on. I know you've been at UGC Niagara. Come on, man.
No, it's not fun for me to get easy kills. Like, easy in the sense that there's literally nothing they could have done about it not because of my skill, but just because of what I was doing is just shutting them down. Like, that's why I don't go into pubs with LMGs on Nuketown and spray through the walls so people can't spawn. That's not fun, and that's not fair. So I don't do it. I don't enjoy it, and it just ruins everybody else's experience.
You poor human. Yeah, I just tweeted about it.
And they also mentioned, this is what I heard from someone, and this isn't confirmed, that time to kill is back. I don't know about that. We don't have to speak about it. Obviously Black Ops 2, a lot shorter time to kill than Advanced Warfare. Was it Drifter that said it? I didn't hear necessarily anyone, but I guess Drifter.
Yeah, Drifter was like, it's basically exactly the same as Black Ops 2's. I think that's a pretty trustworthy source, I would say.
I just didn't hear him say it. That was the only. That's why I didn't want to speak out of term. But another thing to mention is maps were actually released. This is coming from Charlie Intel, guys. Make sure to follow them. They do a lot of great stuff for Call of Duty as well as the competitive side. We're not sponsoring them or anything, but they just do great stuff. Credit where credit is due. So they actually announced 3 maps which are going to be Combine, Stronghold, and Hunted. Combine, a Saharan research facility with open areas and tight corners. Stronghold, a Swiss chateau up in the Alps. And Hunted, Ethiopian hunting lodge with a waterfall. I believe that was the map where we saw that guy go underwater and shoot, but I'm not 100% sure on that. They just mentioned a waterfall was in Hunted, and that was a waterfall when that guy jumped down. So a lot of interesting maps. We'll see. Maybe one of these maps will make it into the competitive rotation. We'll have to see. But and this is also a random fact that I saw. This is what some rumored things that they're mentioning. Apparently for Black Ops 3, it's going to run 1080p and 60 FPS on the PS4 and 4K 60 FPS on the PC.
Damn.
Can you imagine playing 4K Call of Duty? Now that's rumored. That's not confirmed. This is just rumored for now.
I know they released the minimum specs, but obviously that doesn't really indicate what it can go up to.
Right. It can always change. They can always edit certain things like that. But before we get on to the next topic, which is going to be esports on TV, I know we have a lot of strong opinions about the man who said so. Obviously, Kingdom didn't let him on his own planet. But we're going to head to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the next topic. And we'll see you guys on the other side. Kingdom, say it, of
60 seconds.
Bam.
All right, wait for Tommy to put on his headset. We are back. Thank you guys for coming back after that short commercial break. So the next topic that we have on deck, and the last topic of the show until question for Twitter, is esports on TV. If you guys missed it last night, if you guys turned on ESPN 2, was Heroes of the Storm. It's basically an MMO RPG, I think. Is that what it's called, Goalie? I'm not even sure. It's an MMO, right? Okay, well, there you guys go. Okay, so just an MOBA. Was on ESPN2 last night. There was a lot of drama coming on. People were like, what is this video game playing? People doing on a sports network. What is this going on? I know there was a lot of support from the esports community. I went downstairs just to watch it on my TV. I could watch it on my laptop, but I didn't want to. I wanted to watch it, downstairs and whatnot. How this tournament worked out, it's called the Heroes of the Storm. They basically had a 900-team tournament, and the top 4 teams were flown to California, and the winner actually received free college education for the entire life. Like, the whole time that they're in college, they have a free education for the team that ended up winning. It was called Heroes of the Dorm. Very, very clever. And the final game that everyone was talking about was Cal Berkeley versus Arizona State. And Cal Berkeley actually took that game. But Twitter exploded. We saw some interesting news coming from a very known guy from ESPN. I forgot his name. I actually just deleted the thing. What was his name again?
It was Detra McDetriment.
Oh my. Either way, a very known guy in the ESPN scene kind of made a video about it. I don't actually have the video because I just closed down on accident. But he had a lot to say. He said, I'm never going to find myself, talking or even reporting on esports stuff like this. He kind of just made a mockery out of the esports scene, and I believe that video that was posted has thousands and thousands of dislikes on it. Colin Cowherd, thank you very much, TG. But do you guys have any thoughts and any speculation about this? And I actually had this question in the back of my head. Will esports find its way on TV in the future? I'm going to start off with Kingdom, then I'm going to go to Fox, and then to Tommy, and I'll close it out kind of with my closing statement on this particular topic.
Ask me this question again.
Will we find esports on TV in the future? And just your overall, comments on what the Colin Cowherd statements were.
All right. My opinion may not be so popular. What I told Goalie, because I saw that Courage tweeted this out, and what I told Goalie is that I as we grow, we have to be willing to open up lines of communication with people like this. When I watched the video, I expected a little bit more ridiculousness, like what I've seen in the past about it's not a real sport, and these are just kids twiddling their thumbs, sitting at home and being lazy, not going to get a real job or do something real. Like, I can understand being negative towards that, but this guy basically is just a person that talks about outside sports and doesn't see esports as a legitimate type of sports, and I'm not saying I understand his side of things, but I'm saying I understand someone that is so engrossed in regular sports how they could completely, especially if they don't play video games and their kids don't play video games, they're not even going to realize what's going on. They don't. He had no knowledge. There was no numbers he was using. He hasn't seen the statistics of how many people are watching this. And I think that esports is on the rise. It's going to continue to grow. I honestly think that stuff like this, like him and everybody else, is good for us. No publicity is bad publicity. I think this definitely is not bad publicity. Someone complaining about esports being on ESPN is basically alerting people that esports is on ESPN. So I love that people on ESPN on the regular channel are talking about, I would quit my job if they allowed this on ESPN2, because more people are going to go watch the video, more people are going to turn it on, and all the negative tweets that were going out from like world-renowned sports commentators that were complaining about it, in reality, it's a good thing because people went and watched it as a result, and some people couldn't turn it off. They were like, wow, this is really cool. They were like glued to the screen. Now, is this going to translate to Call of Duty? I don't know. And here's the problem. Call of Duty is people shooting people. We can't get past that. Halo there used to be a top 5 countdown on ESPN way back in the day for Halo. Puckett did it. But Call of Duty is not people shooting aliens. It's people shooting people. It's war on television. And will we be able to broadcast that with the amount of gore? Like, I think one of the things you said about Black Ops 3, there's new gore in the game. So will that make its way to popular television? I don't know. Dota, all these kind of games, I think it'll work. Even CSGO, because with CSGO, it doesn't look as violent, I'll say, I guess, as Call of Duty, when you have like Iraqis going against Americans, like that's the character model, like when it's, and I think for Advanced Warfare, at least it changed a little bit where it's like these crazy robot guys. And maybe but if you look at the trailer for Black Ops 3, I don't know what war zone they're going to be fighting in. I don't know who they're going to be fighting, who the protagonist is going to be, and who the antagonist is going to be. But the only fear I would have for Call of Duty getting to this level, like, is X Games going to be on ESPN, is that it's people shooting people. And putting that on television and having people watch it, I don't know how well that's going to go over with parents and with popular media, even though everyone's playing Call of Duty. That's the thing, is that everybody loves this game. It's been one of the best-selling games ever since it came out, but people almost aren't willing to come out of the Call of Duty closet and say that they play it all the time. But people will, I play League of Legends, and I play Dota and StarCraft, and that kind of stuff can go on television because it's like these weird little animals throwing weird little stuff at each other. But yeah, I don't know. Them? And we're shooting them. And so, I don't know. Yes, esports will find its way to television because of how fast it's growing. So, it's my opinion. I think it's good for us that he complained. Somebody just subscribed? No. False! You false. Wow, goalie.
You false.
I guess that's my opinion, Landon, is that I think it's good for us. I think we're growing. And as we grow, it's the same thing that's happening in America right now. Like Fox lives in an area where he's driving past riots to get to his house. If we don't figure out how to have positive, constructive conflict resolution and conversations that can resolve conflict when we disagree with each other, the result is going to be outrage that isn't necessary. And so our community even getting up in arms and yelling at this guy and going crazy we have to be careful about that. I hope pro players, because, if you get Nade Shot and all these guys tweeting that kind of stuff, sponsors are always watching. ESPN is trying to feel out our community, and they're having a big problem with NBA players and NFL players having personal problems. But what they've done in the NBA and the NFL is they're like, okay, well, you can't own a team anymore if you're going to be racist. Like they're kind of they're getting to a place where they're making really hard decisions. And I think for Call of Duty, I don't know. I think it's positive. If I was thinking about making a video about it because I think it's good for our growth and it's only going to shine a light on our awesome community.
Make a video about it. I want to see it.
All right.
I'd watch.
All right. I shall.
Thanks.
Tommy.
Just know I'll be in the comment section.
I know Tommy hasn't talked in a while. I know he's probably asleep right now.
I'm dying apparently.
And actually,
Right.
I didn't get to I didn't get to see what that was about because, like I said, I've been traveling. I've been in Canada, not having internet, so I didn't get to see until today. The backlash. So, what exactly was said that upset so many people?
He basically said, at least in one of his quotes, he said that he would rather shoot himself than watch people play or even commentate over, basically in a way, online people playing video games.
The main premise, Fox, was that he works for ESPN. He would quit his job if they asked him to cast esports. And I said, well, hey, if you got to quit, you got to quit. Like,
dude, that's fine. We got how many other casters that can take his job?
Well, no one told him. No one asked him, like, we want you to cast it. Like, no one ever said, oh, man, we really want you. We'd love you to come over.
You know what's funny about that, right? Is you got to be asked to cast, dude. So go ahead and quit your job. You're still not going to be asked to cast it. It's just, dude, like, I don't know, man. Just negativity.
No one's
like
taking Fox's job. No one is.
We don't need any more of that. But, like, he clearly just doesn't understand. He's just another one of those people, those Facebook commenters that just don't get it and don't understand. Just think that, they don't understand the scene. They don't understand that it's a big industry and it's going to get even bigger, just exponentially grow without any. We don't need him. We need the people that can think outside the box and don't live in 1955. Very random year, but you understand what I'm saying.
1955. Yeah, I got you. I completely get what you guys are saying. Whenever I watched this interview, I was like, this is another one of those people who aren't necessarily involved with the media of its time and just commentating on what it generally is called. It's people playing video games competitively. You think of that 10 years ago. What's that? Like, no, video games competitively? Like, my son plays video games. I don't know what that's supposed to be about. Like, he's living in a way that I understand most parents would come from. I think he could have taken it in a better way about it. I know, to be on TV and to have as popular as a show as he has to be very dramatic with some of the certain things that he points out and has to be like, I would rather kill myself than cast or even talk about this game in my life.
Yeah, a suicide joke on top of it, man. Like, come on, dude.
I understand that. And I responded to what Courage had said. He's like, it's absolutely sickening. I can't believe what he said. And it actually led me to his bio, which actually says, don't allow someone with no life to ruin yours. And I absolutely agree with that against him. So don't let someone with no life who has no idea what's going on ruin what esports has to do. And if you would ever like to come on the show, feel free. I'm definitely down to talk. We can definitely get him involved with what's happening. I know Puckett actually tweeted at him, said, we have X Games coming up. We'd love for you to come out and actually see what actually esports is and whatnot. But like Kingdom went back and said, he said any publicity is good publicity. And I agree with that to a point. So I think, honestly, this is going to help the esports scene. It being on ESPN2 is absolutely massive for the overall competitive gaming scene. I think that really helped us all out and really spoke a lot of volume to what we have to offer. So that's really all we had to talk about that. I think we have questions from Twitter. We're going to do very, very fast questions. Goalie, do you have those up possibly? No? Darn it.
Not prepared.
Wait, I linked it in the Skype chat.
Take a 30-second.
Wait, hold on. It just go in order. It's the first one with
Landon.
What?
I said take a 30-second because I can't back out while we're on.
Okay, that's fine. You gonna take a quick commercial break really fast? Okay, we'll take a quick commercial break, guys. We'll be right back answering your guys' questions. We'll see you in just 30 seconds, probably. Peace.
Bye.
Alrighty, guys. We are back from that commercial break. We've had a lot of stuff to talk about today. I apologize for the long show. Kingdom had to go away. He's actually going to Jupiter to visit his family and play some basketball.
And not take Colin with him. He's not taking Colin, guys.
You can all go, but Colin can't.
Yeah, Colin is not. Colin is not allowed. So we're gonna answer some questions from Twitter. We're not gonna make these super long because these aren't super long answering questions. Sure, that made sense. Goy, do you have the first question from Olaf VB? That's the first one, right? You think? Okay, the first one. Okay, so the first question comes from Olaf VB. He asks, if the new Optic gaming team without Nadeshot is very successful, do you reckon he'd go to Nation? I'm gonna go and start with Fox, then go to Tommy, and I'll close this question out by myself. So go, Fox.
If the new Optic gaming team without Nation is very, do you reckon he'd go to Nation? I mean, Nade Shot, I don't now in Advanced Warfare, or are we talking about in Black Ops 2? Because I mean, there's really no reason for him to come back. He clearly does not want to compete right now. I don't think that he'd go to Optic Nation at all. I think Nade Shot's perfectly content with just competing for fun, not having as much pressure on him. I think that he deals with that a lot better and enjoys himself when he just plays whenever he wants to play, because he still likes competing, but he doesn't like having to compete.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, I think we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in Black Ops 3. He could be on Optic Nation, but those players aren't really going to go anywhere anytime soon.
I mostly agree with you. I feel like the reason he came off the roster is because of the amount of pressure he had. I feel like if he was to come back, it wouldn't be on Optic Gaming. I think there's too much pressure being on that team. I don't know. I just feel like that team is built for success, and if they don't get success, you just get hate. They literally have to win. There's no other alternate. So the way it is, I don't see him going back to Optic Gaming, or maybe not even back to competitive in general. But as you say, I think he'll just play competitive for fun because that's what he enjoys doing.
I'm sorry. I was looking at what Goalie put up as Kingdom's picture. Whenever someone leaves the show, Goalie just puts up a picture of them passed out. So, Kingdom is no longer here, guys, for everyone asking in the chat. But speaking on Nade going to Nation, I don't think we'll see this for this game. I think Nade's kind of done for Advanced Warfare. He's definitely not going to come back unless it's absolutely needed, which you ask a player to join Optic, they're going to be like, yeah, why not? So, or a team, not necessarily Nation is the same thing as Optic Gaming, but I think honestly we'll see if Optic Gaming doesn't work out, say their team just for some reason doesn't work. I think we'll see Nade eventually go back to Optic Gaming. If not, say the team with Karma is successful, then if it's needed, Nadeshot will just fill in where he needs to be. He's never not going to join a team that's not Optic. You'll see him play competitively, but whenever he is playing solidly for a team, it will always be Optic. I think we all can kind of agree with that. So next question we have comes from SE7_Lawrence. That's not okay. Lawrence. There we go. And he asks, "What are your opinions on organizations being able to purchase league spots, and how does that carry risk for players?" Tommy. Well, we're going to start with Tommy and then go to Fox.
It has massive risk for players. I think everyone can agree with that, because obviously, if you're able to buy out a league spot, basically they're going to bring in players, and therefore the players who were on the roster that got bought out, who knows what will happen to them. Do I agree with it? The revenge situation is a good example. I feel like they didn't get the justice they deserve. They play second at COD Champs and they're not in the league, but because they couldn't buy a league spot, they've now disbanded. So we've talked about it. I don't want to go into it too much. I feel like it's not fair, but we haven't found a system that currently works. And I think MLG will keep changing things until we get to a point where it's sustainable and everyone's moderately happy.
I like that answer.
Yeah, I definitely think right now the way the system is, it's I don't want to complain because I can't present a good fix to the solution, but I think that right now the system is definitely very weak in terms of the league teams. So I'm going to leave it at that, only because I can't really I can't give a solution that I fully believe in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. You can't really give an answer to something that you're not really sure what the the answer could really be. Just speaking on players, I think honestly that I think players are very vulnerable. The players that aren't necessarily the best, but aren't necessarily the worst either. They're kind of in the middle. All have a lot of stuff to deal with from players possibly working the entire season to being dropped right before big playoffs, or for even teams, is definitely something you have to look at. We're growing as a community, so we have to do these things to advance it and make it better. So definitely, like we said, a flawed system, but something that we can always improve on. Something to always improve is what we're based on as well. So the last question, finally, which is hashtag the STiKS, coming from iTriz. Do you think Optic will be a better team with Enable instead of Karma? I'm going to start with Fox, then go to Tommy, and then I will answer that myself. So, do you think Optic will be a better team with Enable instead of Karma?
Enable instead of Karma, I want to say yes. But do they really need to make the change? Probably not. Enable is definitely a very strong player, but I think that just the fans in general will be happier to see Karma, and that is kind of a big deal for Optic, I would imagine, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're seeing success with Karma.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Well, I think they're just talking about. I think he just means like ESWC and Gfinity. They're playing with Enable. Like, which squad do you think will be better on LAN and and whatnot? But yeah.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
Optic with or without Karma in the name.
Yeah.
I mean, Optic's 25-3 right now. I really think that they're fine with Karma. Enable's also a strong player. I don't think we'll see much of a change.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Nice. I feel like they're like for like players. They both play a very similar role. I think Karma's more versatile, but Enable will probably put up bigger numbers. But I don't feel like. I feel like Enable will do well. He'll fit the role well, but I don't feel like Optic are any worse with Enable than with Karma. I think they're relatively the same in this game.
Okay. I definitely got what you guys are saying. To me, I'm not really sure. You could say, well, Slang Karma's better, or if OBJ role Enable can help, Crim6 with that load. Honestly, I have to wait till we see these players on LAN perform. Karma's not going to be playing on LAN with Optic, until a little bit of time. Obviously, Enable will be the fill-in for ESWC and Gfinity. We'll see how that squad works, and we can kind of compare the two after. But as far as right now, to be honest, I think Enable might work a little bit better chemistry-wise. I think Slang Karma is a little bit more talented than Enable at certain points from what I've seen. I think Enable's a great Slayer, but I think honestly he could really help that team's balance with the OBJ role. I know they've had a little bit of problems trying to see who's going to play that more of a kind of support / OBJ role, which has kind of been Crim6's ordeal. However, I think Enable would kind of fit that role that they need. I think Enable's a little bit of an easier person to get along with. So just speaking from chemistry, I would say Enable. However, you could look at a bunch of different things. You could say slang-wise, Karma's better, but there's a lot of different things that come into play. So that is the final question for the questions from Twitter. Finally, we are at the end of the show. Basically, what we're going to do is give a 30-second outro. You can say whatever you want to whoever you want. You have 30 seconds. I'll start with Tommy, then to Fox, then myself to close it out. Go. Thank God.
All I really want to say is STiKS EU happening this Wednesday, 5:30 British Standard Time, 12:30 Eastern Central, whatever it is, American time. Come check us out. We are talking about ESWC. I've been Tommy. I'll see you guys later.
Tommy's going to bed.
Tommy's so tired. All right, guys. I am Fox.
It's coming up to 2 a.m.
I'm Fox. I'm a caster. You're going to see me at events soon that I can't say because they're not officially announced, but they are confirmed.
Intel.
I just came back from UGC Niagara. I'm very tired, so I apologize if I wasn't all together for you here today. I appreciate the guys at the STiKS having me on again. I do enjoy coming on the show. I just enjoy talking about the esports scene in general. I'm a live streamer. I live stream at mlg.tv/Fox. I'm a YouTuber. I upload every single day, and I uploaded an entire vlog series this weekend from UGC Niagara where I interviewed pros and asked them about Black Ops 3. So you can check that out.
I actually really enjoyed your YouTube videos that you did of the day 1 and day 2. I really enjoyed. You guys ought to check those out.
Thank
Agreed.
you.
But thank you guys so much for coming to the STiKS tonight. Thank you to Tommy and Fox and Kingdom for a long period of time for being on the show. Thank you to Golay for producing it. Thank you to all the STiKS fam for being here tonight or in the morning for for people in the UK. Really appreciate you guys all for coming out to the show. Shout out to the STiKS fam. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for sticking with us through all of these topics. Been awesome. So shout out to all the sponsors I don't have yet. This has been the episode of the STiKS. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for the STiKS EU and possibly on Friday for the weekly recap. See you guys later. Have a great night or day. Peace. Bye.
Bye.